Nwando, tell me, who are you?
Well, my name is Nwando Anyouku, and I am a pediatrician by training, a physician executive, and I currently serve as Chief Health Equity Officer, the inaugural Chief Health Equity Officer for Swedish Health Systems, which is a multi-hospital, multi-specialty health system in the greater Seattle area. And that's who I am. I am a mom, I am a daughter, I'm a sister, I'm a coach, I'm a mentor, and I'm all of those things.
That's wonderful. Well, women don't do things in ones or twos. We do things across a wide spectrum. So that makes total sense. So my first question for you today is, where has fear limited your opportunities?
That's such a challenging question, right? Because I think that fear is always there in front of you. And so the question is, did you go through it? Did you walk past it? So if I think of when it's limited my opportunities, I'm trying to think of where I actually allowed it to hold me back and not do what I needed to do. And I would say that it held me back when I think about doing, when I thought about doing public speaking. And I love to speak to the public. And for years, I've been told, oh, you got to go do a talk and, do more of that. And I'm like, ooh, will I be the one? Am I worthy? Is there stuff that I'll say that people want to listen to? And, and I haven't really let it hold me back. I've sort of done it afraid is kind of my motto. Like, okay, we got to do it. We're going to do it afraid. And that's what I've done. I think there are lots of occasions in my life where fear had an opportunity to rise up, and I said, yeah, no, we're going to have to figure out a way through this, because not to do it will sort of leave you in the same spot. So when I graduated medical school and moved clear across a couple continents to work in the Caribbean, away from home for the first time, or that far away from home, it's like, okay, what are you afraid of? You're alone. Will you stay alone? Who do you know over there? How will it be? But I thought of what the possibilities were, and so I did it, right? So, and yeah, so there are lots of occasions, I think, that fear has been a specter in front of me, but I don't know that I've allowed it to hold me back yet.
Yeah, no, well, I agree with you. We all have fears, and it's about feel the fear and do it anyway, as an old book once said. And that's a big one right there. And I can definitely relate to, you're going somewhere and you have no resources or you have no idea what's going to happen, but you do it anyway. So it's a good thing. So second question is, what is the greatest contributor to your success?
I think the word that comes to mind is tenacity. I just kind of insist. And I think, words that have been used to describe me is really confidence, is believing that I can do it, that I have something to offer in that space. And so I insist that I should be able to bring my gift into whatever space that is, and that space should be made better because I was there. And that's been my approach, and just kind of insisting on it. And so sometimes you walk through and forward, sometimes you come around the corner, sometimes you bring a friend with you, and sometimes you go alone. But I insist, I keep going forward. So I think tenacity has been my my surviving skill.
Yeah, I can definitely relate. I think perseverance and determination have been a very big part of my success also. But I love that you said, I want to know that I went somewhere and it made a difference. It's like they knew I was there. And that is very, very powerful. I can see a lot of women taking a lot of encouragement from that. It's like, claim the ownership of that space, which is really what you were saying. So when you think about the workplace, what would have to happen in the workplace for you to feel like you've left a lasting legacy?
I'm a woman physician executive. I'm like, each of those makes me fits me into a smaller and smaller piece of the pyramid. And I think what I've tried to do over my career is to encourage women physicians to step forward and lead. I think about, my mantra is evolve, lead, and own. So evolve your expertise, step into your leadership and own your expertise, own it, own the space that you occupy. And if I could look around and see, as I do, younger, let's just go with that, physician women leaders who have stepped into their own and are confidently, owning leadership spots, I would feel that I've made an impact because I have done it either by influence or by direct mentoring or sponsorship or whatever way that I've had to do it to open doors for women to step into leadership and feel like that they have the right and they have the bona fides to occupy those spaces and have their voice be heard. So that I think if I look back and say, okay, because I was there, this is what happened, right? And this is the return on my investment. I will feel like I've accomplished it.
I love it. I love it. I mean, that's truly servant leadership at its finest. So thank you for that contribution. I love it. So what's your vision for the next 3 years for your career in life? Where are you going?
This is like the existential question we're all asking today, right?
Yeah.
I think if you asked me that question 2, 3 years ago, you may have got a different answer. But honestly, healthcare, which is my industry, has faced so much change in the past 18 months. We knew that healthcare had to evolve, that things had to change. We knew that we weren't serving everyone the way that we needed to. But COVID and this pandemic has been a forcing function that has brought all of us to our knees and forced a reckoning to ask us, how do we reimagine the way that we support our communities and support our populations and actually deliver healthcare in a way that's equitable, right? How do we address equity in the way that we deliver care? There's a lot of inequity baked into the system, and they're built on structural regulations that folks don't even know about. So people are carrying out these inequitable practices, not intentionally, but because it's been baked into the system. And we now have an opportunity to relook at those things. So I'm grateful that I live in a time where I get to be part of the voice that says, let's do this different. Let's think about the whole person, their community. Let's think about their wellness, not just their sickness. Let's think about how we serve everyone in a way that they need to be served, how we bring health to where the people are, right? Not make them come to us on our terms, in our ivory towers, but actually be creative about how we bridge gaps. Because the one big lesson from this pandemic is that we're all in this thing together, this thing called life. We're all in it together, right? And I think prior to the pandemic, people thought, well, I could live in my little lily gilded cage and those people can sort out whatever their issues were. Well, it turns out that if you don't deal with their issues, they come right to your door. And that's really been the reckoning that we've all had to face. And so I think that over the next 3 years, we have an opportunity to actually make an impact in this way. And I'm just so grateful that I live in a country where people have paused and said, how can we do better? And this is everyone from academic institutions to tech companies to health systems, to school systems. Everybody's saying, how can we do better? Because there are so many ways in which we have not, brought our best selves, our best service to our community. So that's my vision for the next 3 years, is that 3 years from now, we'll actually be looking at a different way of delivering care with all the new innovation. And when you talk to these young tech people, let me tell you, the creativity, the energy, the things that they're coming up with, young people who are, and people who are not, slightly less young, who are doing things, everybody is charged right now to think of a new way to do things. I just love that energy. And I think that we have an opportunity to really make a difference.
Yeah, I think that we are in a time of great change, and I think that it's really important that people do pay attention to how can we be better across all dimensions of our existence. And frankly, there's a lot of chaos out there. And but before there's any significant change, there usually is chaos. So, you know, we have to take that into account too as we go forward, because out of chaos, it's almost biblical, you know, out of chaos evolves form. And that's really what we're looking for. So this is wonderful. Last question. What is your fearless factor?
I will say that my fearless factor is my faith. I believe that I am called, and because I'm called, I am anointed and equipped to do the work that I have been called to do. I don't always know what that is, but I know that I'm called to be of service. And because I'm called to be of service, then the partners I need and the tools that I need and the path that I need to tread will show up. And my faith has stood me over these years. When it looks dark and it looks impossible, I know that there's going to be a way, because I feel truly that I am called to serve, and what I need to serve will be given to me.
That is a wonderful, wonderful message to give, because so many people don't have faith. They don't have faith in themselves. They don't have faith that things are going to go in the direction they want them to go in. But what you're speaking to is, I have an inherent understanding that no matter what, I'm on the right path, and I know exactly what it is I'm here to do. And, you know, again, I can totally relate to it. People ask me all the time, why fear? Why are you involved in this whole fearless thing? And it's simply because I was placed on this earth to experience it on so many levels, and then figure out how to help people understand it so they can get beyond it. So again, that faith in my mission is very, very clear. So I really love that you took the time to talk to me today and shared this wonderful message of yours, because it's going to inspire and motivate a whole bunch of people. So thank you. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah.